Hello guys, today I'm going to make an animal care center and I'm going to show you some small and big animals. Here's the diorama. Now I'm going to show you some young and big animals. Here's a young hippopotamus, or you can call it calf. And it turns into a big hippopotamus. Here's a young Indian rhinoceros or calf. It turns into a big Indian rhinoceros. Here's a young Bactrian camel. Now it's a big Bactrian camel. Here's a young giraffe, and here's a big giraffe. We have a young kangaroo or joey, and it turns into a big kangaroo. Here's a young gazelle. You can call it fawn or a calf. It turns into a big gazelle. Here's a baby elephant or calf. It turns into a big elephant. Here's a young koala. We can also call it joey. It turns into a big koala. Next we have a young zebra or a foal. It turns into a big zebra. Here's a fawn or a young deer. It turns into a big deer or a buck. We have a young moose or a calf. It turns into a big moose. Here's a baby African rhinoceros. It turns into a big rhino. Here's a young emu or a chick. It turns into a big emu. Here's a young panda or a cub. It turns into a big panda. Here's a young tapir or a calf. It turns into a big tapir. Here's a young Bengal tiger or a cub. It turns into a big tiger. Here's a young black bear or a cub. It turns into a big black bear. Here's a young cheetah or a cub. It turns into a big cheetah. Here's a young caracal. It turns into a big caracal. Here's a young snow leopard. It turns into a big snow leopard. Here's a young red fox or a kit. It turns into a big red fox. Here's a young wolf or a pup. It turns into a big wolf. Here's a cub or a young leopard. It turns into a big leopard. Here's a young white tiger or a cub. It turns into a big white tiger. Here's a young brown bear. It turns into a big bear. Here's a young coyote. It turns into a big coyote. Here's a young lion or a cub. It turns into a big lion. Here's a young alligator. It turns into a big alligator. And here's a young crocodile. It turns into a big crocodile. Here's a baby gibbon. It turns into a big gibbon. Here's a young or baby chimpanzee. It turns into a big chimpanzee. Here's a baby gorilla. It turns into a huge gorilla. Here's a baby orangutan. It turns into a big orangutan. Here I'm going to make an animal shelter. Now I'm going to open the door to show you some animals. Here we have an African rhinoceros, Bactrian camel, Indian rhinoceros, African elephant, giraffe, orangutan, giant sable antelope, greater kudu, ruffed lemur, king vulture, slow loris, babirusa, crested porcupine, black swan, snow leopard, moose, stork, black bear, pangolin, Tasmanian devil, wild goose, skunk, lynx, deer, black wolf, proboscis monkey, brown bear, caracal, spider monkey, snapping turtle, cougar, weasel, coyote, sloth, and we have a green